Okay, so we're gonna look at some Python environments in real life. So first things first, let's just look at what happens when I run Python from my user directory. That's a typo. Python. Still nothing happens. I was actually prompted to install Python in the Windows App Store. This means that it can't find Python. Now I can tell you, and you can trust me on this, Python is definitely installed on this machine. However, like we said, it looks through the system path when you call Python like this, and there must be nowhere in my path that points you to that. Let's take another closer look at the path to see that. Okay, so you can see that there is a Miniconda 3 directory here. So this is a Python related directory. However, if we go to that folder, we can see there is no Python within here and no more folders within here. So it's not finding Python. If I run activate, it will work. It will know to use that, and we'll see that in a second. Now, go ahead and run activate. And you can see this actually did something. It changes here. It says base. This is because this is our base Miniconda environment. And that's what this activate.bat is doing, is it's activating the Alteryx Miniconda 3 environment. This is a sort of customization making that like of this particular Miniconda 3 environment, essentially guaranteeing that it serves as our base environment. So now that this is active, if I call Python, Python will start. And now I'm in the Python interpreter, and I can run Python code. 2 plus 2. Okay. And because we know that it activated this Miniconda 3 environment, I can use the dependencies that are already installed there. So for instance, NumPy, that works. Import pandas, that also works. This would error if it wasn't working, as you'll see in a moment. So we can go ahead and exit the Python interpreter now. Now, let's say I want to start a new project. So we'll go ahead and deactivate this environment, and I'll go ahead and create a new virtual environment for my new project. We need a new virtual environment for this project. Let's say we need a different version of NumPy than the one that's used in this Miniconda 3 environment. So we go ahead and try and create a new virtual environment, Python CSU demo. Oh, Python was not found. Right, we just saw that. So we need to actually activate the old environment just to make Python work. And then we'll create this new environment. This should just take a few seconds. Okay, and now we want to deactivate the old environment. And then we can cd into CSU and look around, and we can see we've got the lib, scripts, configuration. Yeah, this is just a very standard basic VM. Now, if I call activate from here, it's still, because of that path, it's still going to use the one in Miniconda 3. See, we activated the base environment. We need to actually specifically call the correct instance of activate in order for this to activate the new environment. So we'll call scripts/activate. And now this new CSU demo environment is active. Another way we can tell this is if we look at the path. Now CSU demo/scripts is at the very top of the path. So anytime we call anything that's in this scripts folder, it will actually use that version of it. That is helpful because we want to make sure that we're using this correct instance of Python and accessing the right dependencies in this folder. So now if we start Python, first off, import sys executable. This tells us which sys.executable tells us which instance of Python is currently being used. And now you can see we're actually using the instance in the CSU demo folder. Now, what happens if we try and import NumPy like we did before? No module named NumPy. That is because in the CSU demo folder, oh right, there's double slashes. in the site packages folder within that, there is no NumPy. So the module can't be found. What do we do to fix that? Well, we use pip. So we'll go ahead and back out of the Python interpreter and then pip install NumPy. Let's start with version, let's say we need 1.9.3. Uh-oh, we got an error. Something about Visual C++ being required. We needed a compiler. As we discussed, sometimes special compilers are needed to pip install things. But conda is our way around that. So we can go ahead and try conda install NumPy 1.9.3. Huh, okay, well let's see. Incompatible with the existing Python installation. Oh, what do you know? This version of a NumPy isn't compatible with Python 3.8.5. So in our planning for this project, we were wrong about some versioning situations, and conda and pip told us, basically. So now we know. Well, we'll do a little refactoring. Let's see, let's try, it looks like actually NumPy version 1.20.0 might work for us. So let's try that. Oh, and we can see, yep, we're getting a NumPy folder in our site packages now. So we just had to get the right version. And you know, that's one of the tricky parts about dealing with dependencies and environments, and one of the things that pip and conda really help us with. So now that we have NumPy installed, if we go ahead and start Python and import NumPy, it works just fine. And we can call NumPy functions. I don't know any off the top of my head, frankly, but since it imported successfully, we know that the package is now working in this environment. Now, obviously, there's a lot more customizations, a lot more things you can do with Python environments. This is just a very basic intro, of a quick example, but I hope it gave you a good idea of how environments help with Python development. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. We're here to answer them. All right.